Hey, good afternoon. My name is I, Mr. Z.
What's going on? This is the Fifth General.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mr. Z and Fifth. Another edition. All right. So today, tell us what we're talking about today, Zaccheus.
Yo, we're talking about skin deep. We'll get into the whole information about skin deep. Skin deep. We're talking about complexion. When we say skin deep, we're talking about complexion. Complexion complex.
Right.
Yeah,
Complex, which would be on the inside. It's skin, what you got going on the outside.
Yeah.
But what's deep is internal, what's going on mentally. And we're going to talk about the world's perception when it comes to complexion. It's obsessed with complexion. Where did this come from? Also, it's negative connotations with complexion and other people's cultures and stuff like that, so especially primarily people who are of dark skin, how the world views people like us, like me and you. You know what I mean? Also, of lighter complexion, what do people feel inferior or superior? Also, I'll get into the science of it too.
Yeah, get into the science of it too.
We're going to talk about the science of melanin.
I'm going to talk about the history. There's a lot of history behind it, a lot of people that do it even now. So,
right.
Yeah, man.
So, my question to you is, when did we get to in this world, when did we get to the point of deciding whose race is whose race? Where does that come from? I'll let you answer that first, and then I'll speak.
Well, let me go into
before we get into modern times. Just talk about early days.
Well, I'm gonna stem it from history. I'm gonna take it from history. During slavery time, the colonial days of slavery time, it's called divide and conquer. The master wanted to separate the African, the black people, slaves, and what they did is they came up with a scheme, the whole scheme of separating the dark skin from the light skin. In other words, they'll put the dark skin in the field and put the light skin in the homes as servants, and it stemmed all the way from that time, that colonial time of slavery. And then as time went on, from that colonial time, black people, we picked up on it. During that time, we picked up on it, and eventually ventured into our own communities, as far as like colleges, churches. It ventured into their own community where they
entertainment in
Hollywood as well, and it came into in the schools, like all black schools, where they separated the light skins from the dark skin by putting a brown paper bag on the door and putting your complexion next to your face, next to the brown paper bag, and they would say if you're and they do like from sororities and fraternities clubs, they'll say if you're darker than the brown paper bag, you don't get in, but if you're lighter than the brown paper bag, you're already in the club. And it even goes as far as even with jobs. They would separate and it was, to me, when I read about it and I did a little reading about it, was a lot of ignorance involved in that, So that's what we're gonna look into today, man. I mean, they separated. It stemmed from slavery, and we, of course, we carried it on to colleges, churches, and the entertainment field. So from that time, we started with the sororities and fraternities. You couldn't get into certain clubs because you had to be lighter skin, and lighter skin was the one that had the better jobs and had the better. They also viewed your future as being better because you were quote lighter skin, But yeah, we're gonna look at all the diaspora, even around the world. We're gonna look at around the world too, on that too. I got some information on that too, So yeah, man.
Good. So I'm gonna do this real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go in. So the word human, the word hue means color, as in human. So together, human would mean color man. or a man of color. So that goes to show you the origins of when it comes to complexion as far as dark skin. And then, you've heard, and I mean, I'm talking way before slavery now. We're talking about the beginning. And so, a lot of science proves this, that you can't get you can get the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get dominant from the recessive. Okay. So the reason why I mention that right now is because I want people to know that complexion is a beautiful thing. And if you're not somebody who's dark complected, it doesn't mean you're not. I'm just making a point that a lot of the negative connotations will apply to people who have dark skin. They're not applied to people who have light skin or white skin. And a lot of this that you're talking about in slavery, that's all white supremacy. That's all white supremacy. And that is, we want to put y'all against each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to start raping y'all. That's what they did. That's how the complexion changed. It is rape. And before, a lot of the rape happened in slavery. There were white supremacists who are raping other nations throughout the world, even before the first slave trade, transatlantic slave trade. So you already had that going on there. So this was a genetic war. Racism is also a genetic war. And rape is a tool for war. Rape is not sex, although it's intercourse, but rape is a weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rape is used as a weapon of war. So you fast forward to this time.
Yeah.
Right? Where we got situations where people are, where people, not just black people or, so-called African Americans or whoever, or, just descendants of people from Africa. It's not like they're the only ones that struggle with complexion.
No.
You see it in other parts of the world.
India, of course. Pakistan, India. Yeah.
Other Asian countries that have darker skin. I mean, you see it in, like, for instance, I'll give a quick example. Malaysia. Malaysia has people who look almost like me and you.
Yeah?
Yeah. But then you have the Malaysia that looks like somebody who's lighter, somebody who you see popularized in Chinese culture. Okay, you see that the darker ones get treated worse than the lighter ones.
Yeah.
Andre 3000 from Outkast was performing somewhere, and he wore a shirt that said, "Across all nations, darker people suffer the most." Wow.
Wow, he wore a shirt like that?
Yeah, he wore a shirt that said, "Across all nations, darker people suffer the most." Why?
Wow.
Well, because of white supremacy, that's why. Answer. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the hate, and, one of the things that doesn't make any sense is this. We can all enjoy what we all look like and be fine with that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that's not society.
It's not the society. No. Yeah.
Now me and you are dark-skinned brothers. We're considered chocolate brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love my complexion.
I love it.
I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't always love my complexion.
Yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, I got teased a lot. I was called blackie, darkie, not just from white people, but also from my own people.
My own people, yeah.
They
used to call me Junebug back in the days, man.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it back to you. I want to give you a lot of time with this.
Yeah.
The reason why we did this episode, other than just what we personally feel about what people feel about dark-skinned black folks and dark-skinned people around the world, discrimination, all the other things that we talk about on a personal level, you wanted to talk about this in particular because you were talking about skin bleaching.
Yes.
So
yes,
I'm gonna hand it off to you. You go in from front to back. Go ahead.
Yo, before beginning the skin bleaching, I want to talk about even back then when my mother was growing up in Guyana. She used to tell me that growing up in Guyana, she used to tell me that black darker skin would get like they would always be put in the back of the line or even when it comes to dolls. And even had to tell my daughter too, they go to the Toys R Us and they want to pick up the the white dolls compared to the dark dolls. It's even stemming from our kids too.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because
you ever saw the doll test?
Yeah, the doll test with
explain that.
Yeah, with a
they show
young little black girls.
Kids. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a black girl would pick up a white doll compared to a dark skinned doll. She didn't want to do it with a dark skinned doll. She didn't want to play with a dark skinned doll because to her it didn't look pretty. To her, because of the images of what's portrayed in the colorful Bible stories, and what's portrayed as far as TV media is concerned, beauty is always looked at as lighter skin. Even if you look at the music videos, they had a big issue with the music videos with that too, where they will always choose a lighter skin, either white or go lighter skin. They will never choose a beautiful dark skinned woman. And I think all complexions are beautiful. The thing about blacks is we come in all different shades, beautiful blacks, beautiful shades. Mm-hmm. Lighter she become if you want a caramel, there's a beautiful caramel sister. There's a beautiful butterscotch, buttercream, all beautiful, lovely complexions. All flavors. It's beautiful. Mwah! Love it. But when I was teaching my daughter this, I told her, choose, because I want her to be proud of who she is and view herself as beauty, because, it was always, even when my mother's growing up, it was always portrayed that she had nappy hair because she was dark. She had nappy hair and these Indian Douglas used to call them mixed with Indian and black. They have their lighter skin. They have nice hair. They have the nice wavy hair, nice curly and wavy, nice wavy silky hair.
Let's just say, well, see, nice.
That's what they would say,
Yeah, they would say the words nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I always as soon as I hear that, I jump in the middle of it and said, so kinky is not considered beautiful. Kinky is not considered nice hair. Kinky is not considered. And I would hear her say, well, Wayne, that's hard hair. Nobody can't even comb through hard hair.
I'm going to get into the science of that.
Yampy and hard hair. And I said, listen, nappy and hard hair that you can't comb through kinky hair is beautiful. It's nice. And they always jump in and say, well, he has nice hair. And then baby's born, look, he has nice wavy hair. Listen, kinky hair is beautiful, just as beautiful as wavy hair too. So you can't, and that is portrayed as beauty. Silky long hair. Even when it comes to wigs and weaves, which if you can get into that too. When it comes to wigs and weave, a lot of our sisters wear wigs and weaves and everything. They want to get that silky, wavy look. But the natural look is always better. The natural look always brings it to you more beauty. That's my opinion on that, man.
Whatever God made you, what's natural to you, what is natural for you is beautiful. No matter if it's natural for you, meaning if you somebody who's born with straight hair naturally, that's what God wanted you to have. Somebody born with kinky hair, naturally, that's what God wanted you to have. Like I said, we could all celebrate across cultures and groups everything of what everybody got and be happy with it. But the problem is that's not society. That's not reality. So now back to you. So go back to what you were saying.
So they get into this about beautiful hair and lovely hair. I just wanted to touch on that. Beautiful. You have lovely hair. I've been here, but I was growing up hearing that. Lovely hair and beautiful hair. Yeah. So
beautiful and lovely are the words that they use to apply to this hair.
Yeah, to apply to this hair.
Doesn't mean that because you got straight hair that it's beautiful and because you got kinky hair it's ugly. That's just perception of what people were taught.
Fifth, I used to hear this too.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. She is beautiful for a dark-skinned woman. What is that supposed to mean? I used to hear that all the time. Oh, she's beautiful for a dark-skinned woman. Like dark-skinned woman is not beautiful.
I'm tired of hearing that.
Like dark-skinned women, like chocolate women, is not beautiful. Give me a break. There's light-skinned beautiful women and there's dark-skinned beautiful women. Hello.
I've seen chocolate sisters on this planet. I've seen chocolate sisters be some of the most beautiful people in this world, but they're just not advertised, right. And they look at a light-skinned sister or somebody of lighter skin who's not black,
yes,
and say that they look better. No, actually, facially the ones that they say look better don't. It's just that they got lighter skin. It's the
Yeah.
dark skin one that
Light
actually
skin.
looks better than her. But it's just because she's lighter, she gets a light skin pass. You know, that's all ignorant. But nah, so go back to what you were saying. I'm gonna let you get that because. All right, let's so go back to what your information is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is where it all stems from and come from. Even back going up in Guyana, everything that. So this is where it all stems from. You know, the dark skin, the light skin, the hair. Now, for the past few years, this is a big thing going on in Jamaica. Cake soap. Let me get into the use of cake soap. Cake soap is practiced using substance of mixtures or physical treatments to lighten your skin. Skin whitening treatments work by reducing the content of melanin of the skin. Many agents have been shown to be effective in skin whitening. You know, skin just lightening your skin. You know, it's beneficial side effects. You know, there's this is supposed to be it's risky when you do that. It's risky when you lighten your skin. Now, in Jamaica now is a big thing. If you go on YouTube and you looking cake soap in Jamaica, it's a big. I didn't realize how big it was until I tapped into the information. I was like, wow. You know, and as and back then I remember, because I grew up listening to reggae and dancehall and reggae music. So when I'm hearing and when I was growing up, I used to hear a song called, if you don't mind me singing it a little bit.
Go ahead.
Them a bleach out the skin, them a bleach. They look like a brown, then girl me honor you. You know, bleach out your skin. You know, use a chemical for look like a brown, then respect the outer ranks, man.
Jesus Christ.
Respect the outer ranks, because back then they was into the lighter skin, and they was into complexion. They was into complexion, but not as much as it's even more. It's even becoming even more because a certain artist, respect to him anyway. You know, he's incarcerated now. Vibes Cartel, lightened his skin and started using the cake soap, and he liked it so much that he invested into the business, and it became, because he's a successful dancehall artist of today. He's been a successful artist since early 2011, 12, 13, and 14. Even now, his music he's incarcerated, but his music is still buzzing. And people in Jamaica, because he's so big, people in Jamaica, they kind of got onto the cake soap because he invested in the cake soap. He bought into the business, and the women and the men started using it. Now, the black men in Jamaica, they were more like, me love my woman, lighter skin, because you see, when she used the cake soap, you see, they go lighten her skin, and she look pretty. When she's skin lighten, and dark skin women, I can't even see them. I can't look upon them, can't see them because they don't look so pretty. But when you lighten the skin looks so pretty. And now you have the men now doing it as well, because they got it from the artist called Vibes Cartel. They lightening the skin because it's supposed to represent success. Lightening of the skin in Jamaica represents success. It represents the more, like what the Jamaican woman said on YouTube, like the more lighter I look, I feel more vibrant. I feel more the blemishes on my faces are go away, and I feel more successful. So it's a self-image that when they bleach and lighten what you do is you take a bath and you use a soap, and it's supposed to be lighten and take the melanin off of your skin and lighten your skin. Now, Fifth, hear this, Fifth. Even the white Jamaicans in Jamaica were saying that the black men, for some part reason, they love the lighter skinned women, the brown-ins they call it. They call it brown skinned women, the lighter brown skinned women. And they love that. They love the lighter skinned, brown skinned women, and they tend to gravitate towards these women that are lighter skinned and lightening the skin with the substance called cake soap. It's not only in Jamaica, it's in Nigeria too. If you look at Nigeria, you realize it too. It's in there too. But Jamaica, if you look up the word cake soap Jamaica's written all over it because it's very big. I didn't realize how big it is in Jamaica. It's really, really big. No disrespect the Vibes Cartel. I guess he's doing it because he just sees what the system is supremacy, and he sees that it's like with the younger brother Jamaican, one of the Jamaican artists say that I want light to my skin like Michael Jackson. I want to be as light as Michael Jackson. He shout that out because to some people in Jamaica, lighter skin it shows a image of well, I made it, and and it's expensive. It's not even like it's cheap. It's expensive there. So it means that okay, I'm elite, I have money, and I'm able to purchase the cake soap to lighten my skin because image means everything. It's according to this world system, according to this this world system that we live in, and it means everything. And I just want to give a quick shout out to if you don't mind, Buju Banton, because I remember when he came up with the song called Browning. Me have my money, come me have my money and thing. Most of all, me love me Browning. He came up with that song, and that's back in 1992 when he came up with that song, and people was like, well, you like the Browning, but in the Browning, meaning I guess the lighter skinned women, and then he had to correct himself and come up with, me no stop cry, me love black woman, respect the girl with a dark complexion. He came up with that song, and that kind of corrected what he said about black women. He corrected it by coming up with a song called "Love and Respect to All the Women Who Love Dark Complexion," meaning that you're supposed to love yourself. If you're born dark, love who you are and love yourself. But today, if you go on YouTube and you go on Wikipedia and you read up about cake soap, it's big. I didn't realize how big it was until I looked into it. I thought it was maybe one or two people doing it. Man, it's a lot of people lightening their skin, even hair. You look at artists like Lil Kim. She's a few shades lighter than when she started out, right?
Sammy
Sosa, he did it too. The baseball player.
Yeah, he looks lighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's even here too. It's a thing where they can, because they feel that it is an image of the lighter you are, the more successful you'll get. When it comes to jobs, I heard that people in Jamaica saying, well, it comes to getting certain jobs and certain passes, that because of their lighter skin and their image, they get the pass. And they get certain perks compared to the darker skinned person.
Let me say real quick, we don't have any knowledge of the artist that you mentioned just now.
Yeah,
Lil Kim, that she's bleaching herself. We don't have knowledge of that. We're just saying she looks a little different. So that's from when she came out.
Yeah.
So we don't have any evidence of Lil Kim.
Right, mention her.
It's alleged. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah. The only reason why I mention her because they showed her, back in the 90s how she started out, and then they brought up. Portrayed another image of her, and how lighter she looked,
side by side,
side by side, and they did that with I don't want to call out no name, with other artists too. They did that with other artists too. They showed them from when they started out to now, like who's lightening their skin now, and it's sad, man. It's a shame, man. I mean, I remember a brother like T-Pain, the artist, said that man, he wanted to put dark skinned women in his videos, man, because it's just, they're beautiful too. Hey, you just got the dark skinned women that are beautiful too. Yeah. And it's really sad, man, that you cannot look, Martin Luther King, you have to look at the content of your character, not the complexion. You can't, people are caught up in complexion, and I didn't realize how big it was until all I did was tap into the information. I didn't think it was so big. I thought it was something very small. I didn't think it was so big. I know people have it's called complexion complex. Even in India, you can India and watch a documentary on India, and some of these dark-skinned women, dark-skinned Indians, they can't get married. The Madras, they can't get married because if you look at Bollywood, some of the images in the movies is a more lighter skin.
Yeah.
Indians are getting the roles and they're getting the plays.
White.
Yeah, almost white Indians, and that is portrayed as beauty in India.
But that's not even the true face of India, because the true face of India would be somebody who's darker.
Yeah,
because they are more, from my knowledge, there are more darker skinned people in India than there are the lighter ones. So if you was given a true image of country to country, you'll find that a lot of women that they put up front are not the women that most represent the color, the complexion of that nation. You know, same thing with a lot of the Arab nations.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. They do this with Africa. You have a country like Sudan, they'll find a light-skinned Sudanese woman and then make it seem like she's the best thing that Sudan got. Wrong.
Yes.
Ethiopia, another example. You just mentioned that cake soap was popular in Nigeria. Name all the countries that you know of that skin, not just cake soap, but just skin bleaching, period. Name the most popular country that's most popular in.
Jamaica's number one. I had to say that. Jamaica's number one.
Why you think Jamaica's number one? What do you think is going on out there as far as the media and entertainment and perception? Because I could talk about what's going on here in America, but I don't know what's going on in Jamaica.
You see, when you most of the people it's 90% blacks in Jamaica. It's 90% black people in Jamaica. 90%. And you have the artists that the people look up to. They're the voice of the artists are the voice of the community. The artists are the voice of what people portray. Some of the politicians too in Jamaica, but mostly the artists are the youths. The youths they look at the artists like Vybz Kartel, Pop Kane, and so on. The artists that continues the artists in Jamaica. Now when you look at like an artist like Vybz Kartel that been mashing up the dancehall for a long time in Jamaica. From right now, he invested in so. I just shout out to him because he's an entrepreneur. He invested in he not only invested in cakes, he invested in other businesses too as well. He's a businessman. He invested in other businesses, but he's also this cake is this thing that is successful is among the youth. And they finding a way to bleach their skin for a lighter complexion, a lighter look, because the women, for the women, young women, and for even the older women too are doing it too. It just brings out a prettier look. It takes out the blemishes out their skin when they're using that soap to bathe. It takes out the if you look at you can tell that sometimes that a person is using it because sometimes look at this. If you look at some of the documentaries, you see the knuckles. Some of the knuckles are very, very dark. But the other parts of the skin, other parts of the hand, or the other parts of the body parts are light. That's the cake soap ingredients in the person's skin that's making the skin look lighter. But they're not, certain parts of the body is dark. That's their natural complexion. Now, it's very popular there. I see it. It's very popular there. Not to say that in other countries they're not doing it, because I heard this is what I heard in Nigeria, that they're doing it too as well. They're bathing they're using this ingredient, using some, not only just cake soap, but there's other ingredients out there that you can use.
There are other skin bleaching remedies. I'm just saying
to lighten their skin.
Right.
But
we're gonna have to get off of Jamaica because we done basically talked about Jamaica almost half of the show. Because I don't want our Jamaican audience to think we're beating up on them. We're just making a point.
We're not beating up. We love Jamaica. I'm not beating up.
Right. No, but I just want to make sure that's clear, because we done spent like about 30 minutes talking about Jamaica. So here's what I want to say. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, we're talking about the complex, the complexion complex that you're talking about. That mentality came from something. We talked about in the beginning. But let's talk about also from a modern day, because what happens in the beginning still carries on. If I am watching a movie, or if I'm watching shows, or if I'm watching anything in the entertainment industry, and I'm seeing that what's being more glorified is lighter skin, somebody who doesn't know any better, who doesn't have any self-pride in what they look like, is going to feel complexion-wise insecure. So they're going to want to do this, other than just the teasing and being made fun of. This is why it's important that people of darker complexions see themselves represented well. You have kids growing up. I don't know what their parents are teaching them, but you have kids growing up, and they're seeing this, and they hate themselves. You want to hear something on the flip side? I saw a video of a little white girl. She said that she wanted to go for a tan so that she could look like Beyonce. This is a girl who I would say is growing up. She's young, so she probably doesn't. This is like a 5-year-old. Okay, so what I'm saying is she sees Beyonce a lot. So because she likes Beyonce as an artist, she's like, well, shoot, I want to be like Beyonce. She looks in the mirror. She knows she don't look like Beyonce.
Yeah.
So she says, I want to get a tan so that I can look like Beyonce.
Right.
You just said, and I gave you all this room so that I can make my point. And I'm glad you did your research.
All right.
The reason why I wanted you to tell me about the complexion complex is to tell you that on one side, you have black people who don't want to be black. And on the other side, you have a business that invests in tanning salons, tanning beds. Do you know if I had a tanning salon business, I'd do very well? Because on that side, you have people who are not black who want complexion. Those who are what science would call pigmentally challenged. They actually want complexion.
Yeah,
you have people you have black people out there who want to be white, and you have white people out there who want to be black. Okay? you know, they don't want to get treated like they're black, but you have maybe that was a bit aggressive. Not necessarily want to be black, but they do like some color to their skin. So it's interesting how you have people with a slave mentality, because that's what that is, a slave mentality.
A slave mentality.
That hate their complexion. And then you have those who are not of that mentality that like complexion. One of the things that I love seeing with some sisters is that this is what I hear. Some sisters at a certain time were taught that light skin was in. So that whole 70s, 80s, I'll be sure kind of moment. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be sure.
Right,
Yeah.
I could tell you how I feel about you night and day, thinking about you. Anyway, I just want to say that. But nah, the thing is, you had that going. Then it came to a time where, when you watch the blaxploitation movies, a lot of those brothers with dark skin.
Yeah.
Dolomite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dolomite,
Shaft. Richard Roundtree. And Rudy Ray Moore. With dark skinned brothers.
Yes.
So you started to see it come back. And also what you said about hair. Natural hair
70s
was exactly even James Brown got rid of his process.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
1969. I'm
for
black
a while.
and I'm proud.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Say it loud.
So
I'm black and I'm proud.
So it's interesting because you talk about cake soap today, but then it also speaks on this.
Yeah.
What is the black pride or sense of black knowledge in these countries that have in common that are into bleaching so heavy? What that speaks to me is that the knowledge of self is not there, because with knowledge of self, you would love everything about you. At least you would acknowledge everything about you and learn to appreciate it and go on about it. You wouldn't start bleaching yourself. If you call yourself black, look, if anybody out there is referring to themselves as being black conscious or whatever, or being proud of who they are, or being or loving who they look like, whether you're black or not,
right?
You know what I'm saying? If you're somebody if you're into skin bleaching, then there's a lack of black pride in you. I don't care if anybody gets offended by what I just said. If you do that, you don't want to be who you want to be.
That's right.
You might as well just. Oh, God forgive me. I was about to say something crazy.
Hey,
okay?
we're free. You can go ahead and say something crazy. We're free, man.
But then you have women. But then you have somebody like Rachel Dolezal, who has been trying to darken her skin. Okay, Rachel Dolezal called herself transracial. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I heard of her name.
That
yes,
woman,
I did.
she was basically the president of the chapter of the NAACP, I think, in Spokane, Washington. And when people
wait a minute, she got curly hair.
Yeah, she wears her hair. She did something to curl her hair.
Oh yeah, I heard that a while ago.
I'm bringing her up as an example.
Mm-hmm.
This woman believes she's black, and she wants to appear more black. But she didn't want to appear that way when she sued a black college for reverse racism. And let me just say that just so I say her background. But anyway, a lot of people, allegedly, a lot of people that you talk about just a minute ago, it has to mean that. It has to mean that. You said Jamaica. There's a problem if Jamaica's number one in skin bleaching. If Jamaica's the number one country in skin bleaching, there's a problem in Jamaica with as far as black pride.
Well, you see,
parallel thought has to be.
It has to be. You know, the thing is this.
I know that. I'm sorry, that was kind of like a rant.
People,
go ahead.
People want the image. People want the people when it comes to lighter. This is across the globe. When it comes to lighter complexion, people when it comes to lightening your skin, people think and seem that lightening of your when you lighten the skin, you're gonna be more success. You're gonna get more jobs, more perks, and get more jobs, more perks, more advances. In certain things that you get into, let me go back to the brown.
I call them cowards. You bleach your skin.
Let me go back
to
the brown paper bag for a second. Back then, when black people, you talk about sororities and fraternities in the black colleges.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want to make sure I say this. If you're this is my thought, not yours.
Yeah.
If you bleach your skin, you're a coward.
Ooh.
Back to you.
Ooh. No, yeah. When it comes to like the brown paper bag thing, I thought it was ignorant. When I heard that for the first time, I thought it was ignorance. I was like, wait a minute, they putting you next to a brown paper bag, and that makes you in.
Spike Lee gave us a good example in the movie School Days.
Yeah,
remember?
Remember this movie School Days when the sisters, they separated the two sisters, dark skin and light skin sisters, and they were singing against each other.
Right, but what is that? That's Willie Lynch. That's modern day Willie Lynchism.
Yeah, Willie Lynchism. Yeah, if you look at the movie School Days, that's exactly what we're talking about. If if it comes on and repeats itself.
For those who are listening, read the Willie Lynch letter. Okay, back to you. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to read the Willie Lynch letter, man.
Because that explains all of this. This explains why we got cake soap today.
Yeah. Yes. And when you think about it, every now and then it comes up. You would think that we're living in 2017, and this is ignorance. You're gonna make it. This is ignorance, but no, it's a thing, man. It's really it's a thing where people across the globe feel that if your skin is lighter, you can get certain advances, and it's like, wow. It's like, okay, like what I heard a young brother say. He said, "Dark is out, light is in." This is why we gotta educate our people. We gotta when we have our kids, we gotta show them pride of who they are, because there's a lot of people out there that are not teaching these kids, showing the kids self-love and how to appreciate themselves and just appreciate what God has given you, and showing gratitude to God that say, look, I'm dark skinned, I'm this complexion, I thank you for me having this complexion. I thank you, and it's really messed up, man. They
look at it this way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Look at it this way, because I want to make sure we're going that the show is going in a way that we're trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. I have had on witness accounts seen lighter people who are born light skinned hate that and wish they were darker. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I notice is some of the people who do, most of the people who okay, people with this complexion complex, okay, mainly you see it strike people who are dark skinned.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a light skinned sister or lighter skinned people. Do you know? I mean, even white people. I've seen people who are not dark skinned find dark skin attractive.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
I met this one sister.
Yes.
I met this one sister I was working with. She was light skinned. She was Maya's complexion. You know the singer Maya?
Yeah, Maya. Oh yeah, Maya.
She said all the men that she said were attractive were dark-skinned men, like real dark. Like she was naming, like, you know, Morris Chestnut and Tate Diggs. Those brothers is dark.
Yeah.
Wesley, I mean, not
Wesley Snipes.
well, she said she liked Wesley Snipes back in the day.
Okay.
She said Eddie Murphy back in during the Boomerang was attractive.
Right.
These are dark-skinned brothers she was naming.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And here you had a dark-skinned brother talking about how he liked Mariah Carey, how he liked Maya, how he like Alicia Keys. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with his preference. My problem is that anybody who was dark skinned, sister, he said was ugly. You know what I'm saying? So you name a dark skinned sister to him, he's like, nah, she ugly. But you name a light skinned one who's half attractive, and then he'll say she's the most beautiful thing in this world.
I remember. Yeah.
I find it interesting, and I remember I want everybody to pay attention to what I said earlier about the little white girl who said she wanted to tan to be like Beyonce.
Yeah.
What I noticed is that for some people, darker skin want to be with people who are lighter skinned, and lighter skin want to be with people who are darker skinned.
Yes.
Because I had a light skinned woman tell me this. She said she on a dark. This is what she said. She said she didn't want. I thought this was foul. On one part, it was foul. She said she didn't want to marry a light skinned man because if they have babies, the skin could come out lighter. So she would rather have a dark skinned man so the babies could come out darker in between. Because she said when she was growing up. See, this episode is called Skin Deep.
Yes.
Not just dark skin. We're going to talk about the light skin. She said that growing up, that white people treated her a certain way because they knew she wasn't black. They knew she wasn't white because she wasn't white enough and she still appeared black. And that black people, that some dark-skinned people got on her because she wasn't black enough. Yeah. This is a struggle. This is the light-skinned struggle. You see on Twitter and Facebook, which is stupid, people doing hashtag team dark skin, hashtag team light skin.
They're doing that?
First off, if this was slavery days, y'all would both be picking cotton together. I don't want to hear it. You would both be getting whipped and all of that. Raped and all of that. That wouldn't wouldn't change nothing. Okay? So this team light skin, team dark skin is stupid.
It's really ignorant. Yeah, that's what it is. Because you're black, you're black. There's no in between.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? In between. I went to Dominican Republic. My wife in 2010. Yeah, 2010. Went to Dominican Republic, and I heard some of the Spanish brothers saying that glorifying they would rather get a woman that's very light and blonde hair. They said they like that. They said that's beautiful. And one guy mentioned, well, my mother's beautiful. Of course, she has nice, long, wavy, blonde hair, and the skin is light eyes and complexion. And I said, well, they have some beautiful dark women here in Dominican Republic. And, in Punta Cana, they have beautiful women and dark skinned women. I said, no, they're not attractive. No, they're not attractive. They speak a little English, but then you could tell that they have a complexion complex. Especially in Dominican Republic, a complexion complex where they glorify the lighter you are, the better. And
you know what?
It's it's all over the diaspora, everywhere, because it's a thing that's been going on for centuries, and it comes up every now and then. You hear about it, and you just hear it. It comes up every now and then. It's a thing within our people and a lot of people that it hasn't shook yet. They haven't got over that hump yet. It's still there. It's in the DNA.
My question
about the complexion.
My question to you: what is the relationship right now between? Let's just focus on as far as in the African diaspora.
Okay.
right now with this question.
Okay.
What do you think right now is the relationship between those who are? What is the complexion relationship in the African diaspora of people, light skin, dark skin? What is the relationship in your opinion?
Okay.
Is it good? Is it bad?
It's you know what? I would say
just say your opinion.
My opinion. I would say it's pretty bad.
Thank you.
I would say it's bad.
I agree.
You know why I say it's bad? Because we have some. No, I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just saying this is what I observe.
From your personal experience.
My personal experience. A lot of our brothers choose either white. Either go white or they go close to it.
Yeah.
And that's to them, that's considered beauty.
The Kim Kardashians of the
yeah. That's considered beauty.
As a matter of fact,
considered beauty.
When Kim was dark,
I have to give a quick shout out to. You know what? I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Fifth General.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Barack Obama, because when he came out with Michelle, when he showed his wife walking hand in hand with Michelle Obama. When Michelle Obama, I looked up and I was like, wow, look at this brother. And I think
Michelle's considered dark brown.
And
kind
Oprah Winfrey admired that too. She even admired that. She's like, I didn't expect that, because most sisters feel that brothers only. Most sisters, I'm not even talking about just dark skinned sisters. Even the light skinned sisters see this too. Most brothers, when they hit a certain plateau, they feel that our brothers choose either white or we go extremely white, even very close to it.
Kanye West said in a song, I'm sorry, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye West said in a song, Gold Digger, when he get on, he leave your A for a white girl.
Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Who's Kanye married to today?
Kim Kardashian.
And what is Kim Kardashian? I know she's white and
she's
Armenian.
Armenian, half white and half Armenian. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Back to you. Just want to make that point.
Yes. So my point is that when we hit a certain plateau, not to name no name, but sometimes even in our athletes, I'm not gonna name no names. They choose over their person that they started out with. Most of them started out with their sister, and then after a while, when they get a certain plateau, like what Kanye West said in the song, leave you blank for a white girl, and they do. They do. Yeah, more than just one. They do. More
often than some.
More often than usual.
Basketball players, she's very popular.
No often than usual. I'm not.
Sports players.
Yeah,
not
more
just
often than usual.
Athletes.
You shouldn't choose, and this is a message to a lot of the brothers. You shouldn't choose a woman because of her complexion. You should choose a woman.
Spend more time on that.
Yeah, you shouldn't choose a woman because of her complexion. You should choose a woman if she's compatible with you.
Thank you.
You should choose a woman who shares the same desires and dreams and supports you, and you support her. Never choose a woman because she's white, I gotta get with her. That's not fair to her. It's not fair to even. You're doing yourself an injustice. A lot of us need to watch that movie Get Out and pay attention to it. What do you think, Fifth?
Yes. Yes.
We do. Pay attention to it. Watch it more than one time.
We hold off on some of that talk because we have a show dedicated to that specifically. We want to say that for another time.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing with this topic is very deep.
It's deeper than what,
The title's called Skin Deep, but there's so much more to be said.
Yes.
And I don't think we'll get a chance to say it. We'll try as best as we can. Mm-hmm. So I have to kind of fast forward a little bit. I don't want to so what is you said don't choose a woman, or woman don't choose a man because of their complexion, right?
No, yeah.
Now, I would say when you do stuff like that, you become weak for that.
Yes.
I'm gonna give an example.
Mm-hmm.
You get with a say you're a dark skinned brother.
Mm-hmm.
You get with a dark skinned sister.
Mm-hmm.
You won't treat her as good because of what your complexion complex is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then you get with a woman who's like, before I move that, the dark skinned woman is the dark skinned woman that the brother's probably with is probably the most loyal. you know, loving woman he could probably ever have. But that's not what he's truly attracted to. That's just what he kind of settled for because that's his options, I guess.
Yeah.
So say he gets to a point where he gets with a light-skinned chick. He'll let that light-skinned chick walk all over him just for the sake of the fact of her complexion. Because what you have a fantasy for is what you'll become weak for. So you'll let everything and anything happen just so you could please that person. Okay. Now, what's your take on that one? Because in the black, so-called black community, that's the problem that you have right there. But then you have the light-skinned brother. I'm telling you, sometimes it sounds weird. We were just talking about in the first half of the show about skin bleaching. But then you'll have the light-skinned brother, has a light-skinned woman, but guess what? He won't value her. Guess what? A dark-skinned woman, that's the one he values. Don't you find that interesting?
It's very interesting. Fifth, I met some brown skin or light skin brothers that they don't want oh man, I met one recently that said that he would never even think about a dark skinned woman because to him, what does this mean? He said crushed grapes. I said, what do you mean by crushed grapes? What do you mean by that? He offended me when he said that. I said, crush.
Right,
he said,
don't give no names.
I'm not giving
no names. I know
what
you're
names.
Talking about.
Yeah, he said it reminds him of crushed grape, and he cannot.
Go ahead and name it. Name what he said reminds him of crushed grapes. Say it in a family way.
And if he when he meant by crushed grapes, he meant that the midsection.
Yeah, the females private parts.
Private parts. It reminds him of the dark skin female private part reminds him of crushed grapes.
How ignorant is that?
Yeah, he said, I'm not telling you. See, he said,
Coonin.
His brother also said that he has a special place in his heart for Spanish and white women. Particularly Spanish women. He has a special place in his heart, and he's married to a light-skinned woman. And he said this. He said this in front of her. He said this. So it's ignorance in the people, man. I mean, there's a lot of us, and he's not the only one that feels that way. There's a lot of brothers feel that way, and they think like that. Not only here in America, but they think like that. They think that, oh no, I ain't get one of dark skin. No, oh no, that's unattractive. Unattractive. Oh no. You know, when you even look at it, it's really, it just shows you that the self pride is not there.
That's what I said in the beginning. That is what draws the two things together. What you feel on the, that's why this is why we call it skin deep, because skin is on the outside, but what's deep is your mind. Your mind, yes. There's always something that's going on in the mind that will lead to this complex. I love and respect those, such as people like me and you, that don't have an issue with that. Nah, man. We don't. Whether you for my complexion, whether you dark or light, I'm down with both of that. Okay, yeah, I'm down with both of that. I remember I once joked around, and people don't get too crazy about this. I remember one time I joked around with my mother, and I said I want a woman so black that when we have I said I want a woman so black that when we have kids, that when they touch walls, they leave handprints. Oh, shucks. Ooh. I was joking. Yeah. Okay, in my somewhat affectionate kind of way about how I feel. I love dark skinned women. I've dated. Well, let me just say this. This is gonna sound off to some people. I've never dated a woman who was my complexion per se. I'm not saying I don't go after. Okay, now I'm kind of telling on myself. Okay. I've dated outside. I've dated interracially before. So have you. Yeah. Okay. You're married now, so we don't have to go too far with that. But me, I'm single. I can still kind of speak on this. Yeah. Me myself, I see myself marrying a black woman. That's just me. I don't see myself marrying outside of my race. I don't have a problem with anybody else, but because I'm so much of a pro black dude, that I don't see any other woman really get attracted to me like that. I don't. Once they get to know me, they'll be like,
You think that you have to get with a for you to marry because they have a lot of sisters that have the complexion complex too.
Yes.
So to me, you have to find a woman that's conscious and that's actually have pride in herself. A woman that don't mind sitting down watching Eyes on the Prize with you. A woman that don't mind talking about the civil rights movement and talking about slavery and talking about these things and talking about issues
black empowerment.
Don't mind talking about this. You got to get it with a sister like that because they have a lot of our sisters, dark skin and light skin, that have issues with identity.
Right.
That have issues with self pride. They and even with our brothers too, they have it, man.
Yeah.
You got to get with a special kind of sister.
you know what? And so let me get back. So I'll just get back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
So, this also reflects in dating. You said earlier with a lot of the songs that we're talking about, you saying a lot of reggae songs that we're talking about wanting light skinned women and stuff. I mean, you also see this here in America. Mm-hmm. We spend a lot of time talking about outside of America.
Yeah.
You know what? This episode is going to need a part 2. There's just too much to say. This episode is going to get into part 2. So part 2 is skin deep. We're going to talk about we'll do that next week. So we got to do a part 2 to this. And then we're going to talk about the identity crisis. What people want to identify with when they become or want to become these particular complexions.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So we're going to talk about the identity crisis in the black community and other communities of people who are darker skin. Mm-hmm. So let me go back to what I was saying because we're approaching an hour. So one of the things is this. Dang, I'm not really going to have a conclusion for this. We can't conclude this episode. It has to go, okay. My final thought is going to be a little jaded. Well, not jaded, but it's going to be a little empty because we're not done. We would have to continue this in part 2. Okay? So I'll just kind of go in as far as I can and give you the mic. So one of the things is that I see is that this will affect everything. But also you got to look at who owns these media, publications, entertainment that drives this mentality. And then you also got to look at the parents. You got to look at also certain trauma experiences. I mean, you have some people that say, "Well, I was teased by this particular, or I was assaulted by this particular person who looked like this. So from now on, I don't see safety in them." You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in the so-called black community. Like you have black people who are afraid. I'm telling you, you have light-skinned black people who are afraid of dark-skinned black people. Afraid.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah, because they feel that they're going to cause harm or cause,
It goes to show you how deep this skin color situation is.
It is very, very deep. It's so deep that if you go on certain networks like YouTube, and you'll see a whole section dedicated to that. Dedicated
to mixing. Swirling is a term for it.
Yeah. A whole lot of that. Yeah. It's just better than our DNAs and people's DNA a lot, that this thing is very big, man. And I used to take that song for granted,
and you know what?
Not all ranks.
Yeah.
Them a bleach out them skin, them a bleach. They look like a browning. Girl, me honor you. Bleach out your skin. Use a chemical if you look like a browning. I used to look at that. I used to hear that song and he said like, "Whoa, okay, he's talking about browning, but why he's talking about people bleaching out their skin?" I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Until now.
So what we got to wrap this up. So I'm gonna let you close off what you want to say, then I'll start after you. Go ahead.
Yo, we got to continue this, man. This conversation. Sorry it ended, man, but
well, just summarize just based off today's episode. Just summarize what is it that you would like to get across before we get to part 2. Save all the other stuff for part 2, but anything that you talked about today that you want to summarize or clear up so that people understand where you're coming from?
Well, yeah, you look at these bleaching products and everything, and you look at this. We're living in a time, and people we're living. Could I say it?
Please.
Illuminati or white supremacy. Call it white supremacy, right?
The Illuminati is white supremacy because white supremacy controls the Illuminati or secret societies. But go ahead.
We would sell our own souls out. We would damage our skin. We would use these chemicals that is a risk causing that could actually risk your life, meaning that it can cause certain cancers in your body. We rather do that just to fit into the system. That means that we rather sell our own souls out just to please the man or please the supremacy. Please forget about who we are and just please, we sold our soul. When we do things like this, we're saying to God, forget you, I'm already sold out to the devil. And that's my conclusion. When we do things, when we change our skin tone, like actually bleach who we, like literally rub our skin color off. We're saying to God, I'm not happy. I'm not pleased with what you made me. I don't like what you made me. So I'm gonna just disregard how you made me, and I'm gonna fit into this, form my way into the system. The system will fail you, but God will never fail you. That's what I want to tell them. So you sell your soul out. You sell your soul because you want to fit into this society. You want to be a part. You want to be into this system. You want to take the chip. You want to take the mark of the beast. That's what I have to say. You want to take the mark of the beast and you want to sell your soul to be a part of the system, because the images that is portrayed in the media is is all a part of the system. It's all part of the whole control, soul control, and who you are. So my message to you is be proud of who you are, stand your ground, and God will honor that, and you'll have more self-dignity and pride in yourself. You go out with dignity, and that's all I gotta say about that in conclusion. Yeah.
My conclusion won't be so much of a final thought, because I have to save that for next week, but I am going to talk about what I'm going to talk about in the next episode. So we're going to continue this discussion of skin deep.
Yeah.
Okay, there's going to be a part 2 to this. What I didn't get a chance to talk about, and some of what you just mentioned, what does the skin bleaching remedies, different skin bleaching remedies besides cake soap? I'm going to talk about some of the things that people tried to do to bleach themselves that worked and that didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm also going to talk about, we talked a little bit about the dating world of it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more into that next week. Mm-hmm. Also get into the science of melanin. Okay, and why melanin is important. Okay, you said bleaching ourselves open you up to cancers. I'm glad you said that. Try to get that in earlier to mention that.
Yeah,
but we talked about that. Also fitting in. Let's talk about the reality of what happens to you after you bleach yourself. How nothing really changes. How about that? You still get treated the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also talk about the stronghold of the media and the vehicle that it holds on people, or why people have the thoughts and feelings that they have about the complexion. Mm-hmm. I also get into more about the business of tanning. Okay. Mm-hmm. On how, on the flip side, in the Caucasian community, that tan is celebrated. Whether it be you actually getting at a tanning bed or a spray tan. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the ignorance of how those same people will tan themselves, but then curse you for being dark. See, I ain't even get a chance to really talk about that. Yeah. About we kept it more inside the community with this one, but we're going to talk about against the community.
Yeah.
Okay, in the next episode.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I didn't realize that I was so full of this topic until we actually started talking.
Yeah. Yes,
You know?
it's a big thing. It's a really big thing. I didn't realize how deep it is.
Well, you know
had no
why?
idea, man.
Because me and you, first off, have our own experiences. Because me and you are dark-skinned black men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have our own experiences. So before even getting into anybody else's experience, there's so much of our personal, whether from kid till now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get out of here, let me just say how to reach us. Let me give a special shout outs to those who listen to the show. Man, we got a lot of hits off the first episode.
We did?
With no promotion on Audio Mac, not on YouTube. On Audio Mac, we got almost 200 people who had
tuned in,
clicked in on episode 1.
Yeah,
President, titled President Agent
Orange.
maybe that's why we got the attention.
Yeah.
But things are very slow. I get it, but shout outs to those who've been listening, even if you haven't been subscribing, but you've tuned in, whether you liked it or you hated it. You tuned in,
Yeah.
And we have a season 4. You also want to mention that soon we're going to do another podcast. I won't give the title yet.
But
with our with a brother of ours, a very good friend of ours, that's going to be more of a niche market. That's going to be more so talking about more about the gospel hit, more from the Christian hip hop circuit
community.
It's more going to focus on. It's going to be more music based. Well, you know what? Not just Christian hip hop.
Reggae,
the reason,
R&B,
you know what it is, because we do positive faith based music. You on the reggae side, me on the hip hop side.
Yeah.
So it's because of who we are. This is why that show is important to us. But it's gonna be more music and entertainment based. It's gonna be interesting topics. It's gonna be a little more niche than Mr. Z and Fifth. There are gonna be certain things that we don't say on that podcast that we do on this one. But that's gonna be coming soon, and we want y'all to tune into that. I'm sure y'all would enjoy like that interesting conversation as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach me, at the Fifth General, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's do business.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
How can they get at you, Zaccheus?
Yo, at Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter, and they can hit me up on Instagram, Zaccheus B73. That's ZACCHEUS B like some boy, and then 73. Zaccheus B73. Also on Facebook, Wayne Bacchus at Facebook.com, Wayne Bacchus, Facebook.com. They can hit me up right there. My last name is BACCHUS, Wayne Bacchus. Yeah, you can hit me up on Facebook right there. You can, see what's good. I'm waiting for the shout out. That's good, man.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right, so next episode, Skin Deep, Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to go more and dive more into this. We appreciate y'all for listening. This is the Fifth General signing off.
And this is Mr. Z.
All right. Stay tuned for another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Peace.